have tampons with me, so at least I have that. But have you ever tried to clean yourself up with the Bristol board? Hey, what's up guys? I'm Paige.
I'm Holly.
And today we're talking about periods.
Hence the shirt. I wore my period shirt, especially for the occasion.
Very sweet of you.
What we're doing is we're reacting to your guys' juicy, funny, or embarrassing period stories.
And we're also telling our juicy, embarrassing, funny period stories.
We couldn't ask you guys to bear all without telling you our deepest, darkest moments.
Exactly. It's a safe place here, so we're all going to talk about it. I mean, you guys tell us, it's anonymous, we tell millions of you, and you all know who we are.
Yeah, so it's all about balance.
Fair trade. But before we get into the juicy bits, we'd like to thank Intamina for sponsoring today's video.
Thank you.
That was so good. Well done.
So this is Intamina's Ziggy cup, and we'll get into it a little bit more into the video, but this is kind of what it looks like. It's a reusable cup. And it's kind of flat. It's not like a regular reusable cup, but we'll get into some of the stories and we'll tell you how this could have saved us in many a situation. Should we go first or should we read other people's first?
I'll break the ice with mine.
I'll set the scene, shall I? So Paige is on a period, first of all. Key ingredient to a good period story. So I'm driving, I picked her up straight after work and we were going to her cottage.
Which is about a 2-hour drive away.
And it's all back roads.
Usually you guys know me. I'm prepared, I'm planned, you know, I'm ready to go. I got stuff locked and loaded. And that it usually goes with my period as well. I know that I need to change it when I need to change it, and I know when I don't. And before we left, I thought, you know what, Paige? Live a little. You don't need to change it. You just changed it an hour ago. I can last 2 hours in the car.
Can you only last 2 hours?
It's not my fault I have a heavy flow and a wide set vagina, Holly.
Were you waiting to use that one?
Back to the story here,
Yep.
okay? We're getting in the car, good to go. Let's head to the cottage. Holly's driving, I am in the passenger seat, enjoying life, living on the edge. And all of a sudden, I feel, you know when you just feel something's going on? I was wearing a tampon at this point, okay? Something not good could happen any second. So I'm like, Holly, like, I'm not feeling great right now. Girl, if there's a bathroom around, let me know because I might need to go figure something out. All of a sudden, there must be some particles of dust in the air. I don't know. I take a breath in of something fuzzy or something that tickled my insides, and I had to sneeze, the greatest sneeze that ever was snuzzed. And upon doing that, everything released itself. My body emptied, and I knew. I turned to Holly and I said, pull this fucking vehicle over. Holly pulls over to the side of the road. We're looking in the car. I'm like, Holly, I need napkins. I need anything going on right now. She's looking everywhere in the back of the trunk. I'm like, Holly, I need something right now. She's like, I have this piece of paper.
It is the thickest piece of card. I'm like, this is all I have.
In her whole vehicle, in any of our bags for the cottage, that was it. And I said, thank you. I grabbed this piece of cardboard paper, Bristol board, and we go onto the side of the road. I have to find this little bush that I don't know if anyone's gonna cross by. I just have to bet on the fact no one's coming because they're gonna have a sight to see. I get back there. I have tampons with me, so at least I have that. But have you ever tried to clean yourself up with the Bristol board?
I'd just like to say, this entire time I'm like, from behind the bush, babe, are you okay? Do you want me to come? No! Get out! Don't look at me! Don't look at me in the eye! Don't ever talk about this again to anyone ever!
Anyways, I had to sort myself out there and get back in the vehicle, and me and Holly are sitting in the car like, she's like, you okay, babe? No. Do you want to talk about it, babe? No. Horrible experience. If you're going on more than an hour car ride, just change your tampon.
Or you can wear the Ziggy cup that's good up to 12 hours.
Let's show them what this puppy is.
Well, this one's mine. Paige's is inside of her.
I'd love to show you right now, but this is YouTube, not Pornhub. So.
Basically, it's a reusable menstrual cup where this one's almost like a drawer that sits inside of you.
Think about like if you're putting like some hash browns in the oven, you just go and they're frying, they're cooking, and you take them out and they're ready, you know?
That's exactly what this menstrual cup is like, a hash brown.
So for any of you guys who have used a menstrual cup before, you know that they typically are very thick. You have to push it together to be able to actually fit it in, and it's very difficult to hold. It's not an easy thing to put in, especially someone like me. not much can go in there, you know? That's not an easy thing. The Ziggy cup is great because, as you can see, like, this is able to go in like boom.
Well, it's the same thickness as a tampon, so if you can insert tampons, you'll have no problem getting
exactly. And whereas other menstrual cups I've used requires a little bit thicker circumference, if you know what I'm saying. Nothing against that. Just for me personally, this has been one of the best things. So if you're someone like me, this could be the right thing for you.
And one of its main selling points is that it's one of the first reusable cups that you can have sex in. Mess-free sex, sorry.
You know, some people do have sex on their period and don't worry about it, and that's totally fine too. But if you are self-conscious about that and that's something you still want to, this is a really great option to be able to still do that. Because of how shallow it is and how high it sits up, while you're having sex, it's not felt at all.
Yeah, I would say the only thing about this is when you take a traditional cup, kind of goes inside of you like this, and you pull it out and you dump it with the little tab. This one, it's easy to pull out, but because it's flat and like a drawer, it can get a bit messy, especially if you're doing it in like a public bathroom and needed to go out to clean it.
But it is really great for around the house, and if you do want to have sex on this, it is probably the best product you could have.
And we're working on being more sustainable in 2020, so this is awesome, definitely cuts down. And it comes with this cute little case, which is kind of like a mock vagina.
Hey, pretty baby.
I'm kind of living for it a little bit.
Cute. Should I tell mine? Mine's not as funny as yours.
Your story?
Typical my life. Oh. Mine's just the typical 8th grade embarrassment.
I don't think I know this story.
Because it's sad. I can tell it anyway. It might bring the mood down, but fuck it. Okay, so when I first came to Canada, I came midway through grade 8. I didn't feel comfortable at all. In fact, I felt very gawked at. So anyway, back then in grade 8, I wasn't wearing tampons. I wore the nice big ass pads.
Did you really? Wow.
With the wings and everything.
I never went through that. I never did
midway
it.
up your butt and halfway up your friggin' pubic bone.
Like a little surfboard.
Like a boat. It's a big boat. Anyway, so I was wearing that and I was wearing blue jeans, just rookie mistake. So I get up and anyway, this one girl tapped me on the shoulder as I was out. She, "You've leaked." Instant redness, heat everywhere. I'm like, oh my fucking god. Because I got up for something. I think I literally sharpened my pencil.
Oh no.
So I have shown the class everything, sat back down, and in grade 8 too, everyone's like,
that's a tough time, yeah.
It was an awful time of life. And then I have to put my hand up and then say, oh, can I go to the bathroom? And I go, and it is everywhere. Luckily I had a zip up hoodie, so I tied it around my waist and I just put stacks of toilet paper down there now, make a mock pad for myself. And I went to the front desk and somehow the front desk had fucking heard that I had leaked through my blue jeans. So I'm like, can I call my mom? I'm not feeling well. They're like, oh honey, like we have like spare trousers back here. And I literally looked her dead in the face. I'm like, let me call my mom. I'm not feeling well. Oh. And they're like, I really think you should I'm like, get my mom on the phone. I was not assertive back then at all. Like, yeah, and my mom came to pick me up and I just could not look anyone in the I was so embarrassed.
You never told me this.
I don't talk about much of myself from like 16 lower because I've been such a different person. So
well, I would have loved you anyway.
I hope so. Anyway.
Well, as tragic as that is, you could have held your hash browns in a nice tray. Instead, your hash browns are falling all over the place.
Don't have your hash brown on a surfboard. That's the moral of the story here. We've embarrassed ourselves enough. It is time to embarrass you guys.
If you guys aren't following us on Instagram, you should, because that's where all the polls for all of our YouTube videos come from. So make sure you're following below.
Okay, I have to say, I've gone through a couple and all of them involve leaking in a classroom, someone noticing and going home. I just feel so validated right now. So thank you everyone for sharing your stories. I like this one, listen to this story. This one time in 5th grade, a classmate was called up to the board. She was wearing white jeans and a boy saw blood and yelled, "She's bleeding." Another girl yelled even louder,
"It's normal, she's on her period."
But the girl ran out in embarrassment.
Girl power!
Kudos to that girl, absolutely.
Us girls gotta stick together. Fuck boys. But not actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get your punctuation right in there. My friend started when we were sat outside on a wooden bench at lunch. And when we got up, we noticed, but didn't say anything. The next day at lunch, we sat at the same bench, but some of the boys we hang out with said, "Ooh, what's that?" And another one of my friends told all the boys in our class what it was and who did it. We all told her off for embarrassing one of our friends like that. Good.
That is not girl power.
No, that's not girl power.
No.
You should never throw someone someone under the bus.
And I know that sometimes like you'll see somebody who has their period and who may have leaked and you go, oh, I don't want to embarrass them like that. But I think that person afterwards feels so much better and so thankful that they knew.
The same thing, if I come home and I've had something in my teeth, all I think about is all the people that I had talked to that had probably seen it and why didn't they tell me? I think people would definitely appreciate knowing.
Yeah.
In middle school, I played traveling basketball, bracket, so gay, kind of gay. During a game, a girl's tampon fell out on the court. We had to stop the game and the girl's mom came out and had to pick it up off the floor.
Wow.
That's a tough one.
Shit.
To completely fall out.
That age too? Damn, did she cough?
Middle school.
What happened? She probably sneezed.
And like, you know, you don't want to grab it to hold it so you can kind of get it by the string, but then is she running with it like...
She like swinging around? Is she... I was gonna just say like helicopter away, you know? Goodbye. Wow.
But you know what? You live and learn. You just...
You do. And your analogy of food in your teeth compared to your period is how I actually think that it should be more so compared to. Because if somebody gets their period and leaks, people think that it is such an end of the world thing. And while food in your teeth can be embarrassing, absolutely, it's a natural thing that happens to basically everybody. So I just feel like those should be more so on the same level. Like, why is it such an embarrassing thing for this to happen when it's a normal part of your life?
Well, and that's just what I was getting into. Like, when I received sex ed in public school when I was in England, they separated boys and girls. So girls didn't learn anything about male sex ed and vice versa. So girls knew all of this stuff about menstruation and everything, but then guys knew nothing. So then it was really like secretive and it was like, can't tell anyone, it's just a girl's thing and all this stuff. And it created this stigma around it that it should be kept secret from certain people. And I remember in high school really overanalyzing how I would get a tampon out of my bag and put it into my pocket or hide it up the sleeve.
We totally all do this where it's this secret. Meanwhile, what the hell? Everybody does it. You know what? I'm just gonna chuck this. This is gonna be Frisbee town. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's definitely flexible enough.
Hold on, do it. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God.
Just talking about sexual education and sexual health surrounding menstruation, I think a big reason we're happy to work with a brand like Intimina is that they do support this. They offer tons of different products, tons of different cups available to women of all different shapes and sizes. They understand that not everybody is the same, and this is just one of the products that they offer on their site. This is the one that works for me and that works for my body type, but if you aren't into like the little hash brown tray, no problem. They have other ones available for you too.
I think if you guys are interested in researching some more sustainable options, I think Intimina is definitely a good place to start to do some research, see what might work best.
We understand not everybody's body type is the same, so watch review videos, see which one's gonna suit you best. We'll leave the link in the bio for the Ziggy Cup, and you can check out their website and all the other ones that they have available as well. Check it out below. Okay, so this is another sports story. There's nothing like getting your period during a softball game. I was 14 and pitching at our biggest tournament of the season. I remember my teammates coming to the mound for a huddle. The shortstop whispered in my ear that I had a period stain on my pants. My white pants. I was so embarrassed and didn't know what to do. So when we rotated into batting, I went up to my coach and told him that I was having a female emergency. He didn't quite understand. So the shortstop turned me around to show him the bright red stain on my ass. I will never forget the look on his face as he told me to go see the athletic trainer, as if I was injured. My coach still doesn't understand. He's like, where did you cut yourself?
And sorry, just side note, do you guys remember the fucking cardboard applicators? It ripped me in two.
I can't even talk about those. I got like one box in my life and I said I would never do that again.
At Christmas when I was in England, I got my period unexpectedly, like way early, and my dad had to go out to get me some tampons, so I was just like, oh, like just get regular please. Comes back and, you know, dads are always a bit like, oh yeah, here you go and all this shit, and he got me the cardboard ones.
No!
And I didn't want to be like, Dad, I need the plastic ones because they're easier to insert inside myself. I was just like, thank you.
But the one good thing about then having the cup instead is you'll never run out because it is reusable.
Yes.
So if you do get your period, it's just the one thing you use over and over again.
I didn't know what periods were the first time I had one, so I thought I was dying. Didn't want to upset my mom by warning her of my death, so I just left it. Didn't tell her for 3 days, waiting for death to take me quickly.
No!
I could just imagine, like, any minute now.
Yeah. TikTok.
Probably thought she defied death.
Yeah.
How powerful.
I think we do defy death every day with our periods.
So I was out and about with my mates and I got the cramps. Me and my dumbass was like, I'm sure it's that burger I had at work, so I continue having fun. I get home 3 hours later and I sit down on my, and I would like to emphasize, brand new white sofa.
Oh no.
I'm minding my own business and I should have guessed by now what was happening. I stand up and look down. Never in my life have I moved so quick to try and clear the mess that my body had made. However, there's now a lovely red patch on the new sofa.
No.
I tried to save myself from embarrassment for when my parents get home. I placed a blanket over the patch. When my parents got in and asked why I had covered the sofa, I just said that I had gotten into their wine and spilt some. At that point, I'd rather be told off for something that I hadn't done than the embarrassment that I would have faced. So this poor gal is saying, actually, I stole your alcohol and spilled it, instead of just being like, it's natural. But at the time, it makes perfect logical sense,
I feel like I probably would have done the same. But I do really hope we can change that. I know we have a bunch of young viewers on here who watch who are still in high school or even in elementary school. And I guess if there's one thing we want to get across is that if you're ever seeing a girl struggling or not being aware of the situation she's in, try and help her. Let's use girl power. And guys too, if you're noticing as well, go and talk to the girl and tell her, because I guarantee she's gonna be so thankful that you did.
And the stigma around periods being embarrassing. And if you have an embarrassing story, it makes for a great story later on in life.
Absolutely.
You can't laugh at it at the time, but a few years later, maybe you can.
Well, on that note, guys, I just want to thank Intamina for sponsoring today's video. Now you can check the link in our description. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for sharing
so
your
much.
stories.
Very brave. Keep talking, communicate, educate, subscribe.
And stigma.
Oh.
Sorry.
And the
Subscribe. Subscribe.
We love you. Bye, guys. I just add that in after the credits.